of life are being destroyed by one silent killer called drug abuse. It doesn't care about your age, background, dreams, and it might interest you to know that people who are closer to you are suffering from this. My name is Undu Patience Oluchi. Today on the channel TFS 352 News Design, we'll be talking about drug abuse. So I know we all know what drug abuse is, but first of all, let me throw more light on that. Drug abuse is the misuse of substances in a way that it causes harm to our body, mind, or soul. Reasons why people take drugs varies. Some takes it for the escape of emotional pain. Others just to fit in socially. Some simply for curiosity. But in all, it has one risk, which is addiction. Addiction destroys homes. It ruins career, and it could lead one to life imprisonment.
We're here to talk about the reason why people adventure into drugs. Peer pressure. Peer pressure is one of the reasons why people adventure into drugs, whereby you see your mates doing drugs and you want to follow them to do the drugs. Past experience of traumas can make people adventure into drugs.
There are various effects of drug abuse. One of the most common effects of drug abuse on students especially is the decline in academic performance. Students who abuse drugs tends to decline in their academic performance, whereby they go from a higher grade to a lower grade. These students also neglect their responsibilities. Most of them end up not coming to lectures, and during exams they will be having poor results. Some of them also drops out along the line. The second effect of drug abuse is health complications. Prolonged use of abused drugs or the regular intake of drugs can lead to health complications. These individuals can develop liver problems, heart issues, lung infections, and so many others. The third on my list is risky behaviors. These students who abuse drugs, not just students, but individuals as a whole, when they abuse drugs, they tend to exhibit risky behaviors which serve as a threat to their fellow students and also their society at large. Some of them also go into criminal activities through which they get money, which they use to purchase these drugs.
So I really want to ask you a question. Why do you think most youths venture into drug abuse?
Well, the reason, the term drug abuse can't be emphasized enough, right? Well, for me, I actually feel the number one reason why youths venture into drug abuse is peer pressure. So most people, if you begin to check statistics, there are lots of people who take drugs now, not because they need to or whatever, but because number one, they feel it's aesthetically pleasing. You could see a boy, because I'm fresh, I'm this, I have to smoke to belong.
My name is Nancy. What's your name?
George.
Okay. George, I want to ask you a question about drug abuse. What do you feel make young men go into drug abuse?
Depression.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So can you throw more lights on it? Like, give us your
Depression and peer pressure. So for me, like, one of the key reasons why most youths venture into drug abuse, and for them, like, give them this kind of visual, like, it relieves stress, and although it has advantages, but like it also has advantages. So
okay, so you're trying to tell the audience that drug abuse is a good thing or is not?
I don't know. It's like, if you can take it, if your head can carry it. If you drug close, fine.
So if you have a friend that is taking drugs, will you advise him to like continue? After you say that drug abuse can lead to depression and stuff, will you advise your friend to keep on taking drugs?
No, I don't have any friend that do take drugs. I don't even take drugs myself. I won't advise anyone to take drugs.
Nice. So what's your advice to youths, young people out there? What is your advice on this drug?
Say no to drugs.
What do you think is the causes of drug abuse, and what are the effects on youth, students? Yeah.
Okay, to me, I think that one of the causes of drug abuse is peer pressure, because most times most people come from home, they're actually good kids doing well, but then when you mix up with people that have this that are into drugs, they might most times persuade you, trying to tell you that you should try it out, that there's nothing wrong with it, and then due to that inquisitiveness, you would want to try. And drug is one thing that once you do it, you want to go for it all the time. Before you know it, you get too addicted that you will not even want to break out. You would want, but to pull out of it is going to be a problem. So that's one of the causes to me, peer pressure.
And you had the recent event that happened.
The one that happened.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, and do you think it's peer pressure? Do you think it's just peer pressure that made that guy that like make him high on drugs?
I might not know. It's not that I might not, but I don't know the entire backstory. So we're just behind the fence. We're just judging based on what they told us. And I think that probably most times it might be that he was pressured. It might be peer pressure. Let's just put it that way, because this guy nobody starts taking drugs as a child. It's just something that you grow into, something that you start doing. So I think that maybe he was pressured, but then anyhow, seeing the effect, he lost his life because he was high and could not even predict or tell what was happening around him. The drug was controlling, and I was just
And do you think the situation of the country right now also influences, like, do you think is there enough reason for someone to go into drugs?
It does.
Situation?
It is actually. It is, because most people are going through one thing or the other.
So you can go into drugs because
of course not. I won't. But most people. Let me just put it that some people already. Their lives are already built on drugs. So when they are going through anything, their withdrawal method is just to go into drugs.
That's their only solution.
Yes, that's their only solution. So they feel, let me just do it for the moment, and then it will just divert my mind from whatsoever that is happening. But after everything, you see yourself going through the same thing. So it's not
even a solution.
It's not a solution. Just that we already stay in a country where most people are doing it, especially young people.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Precious. What about you?
Okay, my name is Victorious.
Okay, so I just want to ask you a few questions on drug abuse.
All right.
Like, have you ever encountered or have you ever seen anybody that is struggling from drug abuse before?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, good. Now, why do you think that person is, why do you think that person is influenced into taking drugs to the extent that he or she is abusing it?
There are many reasons why, especially for our youths. First of all, I would say low self-esteem.
Okay.
Someone will see another person, much more superior than him and feel threatened. Maybe either by his appearance or by his gait, by his complexion, by his intelligence, by the way he carries himself, or by his intelligence, or by anything. And so maybe he or she may want to befriend that person or come in contact with the person.
Yes, exactly.
But being so low in esteem, you want to, take the drugs in order to get intoxicated and have the boldness to approach that person. So aside low self-esteem, we have mental disorders, emotional imbalance. Someone can be struggling emotionally, problems, whether imposed, manipulated, projected by maybe by environment, from whatsoever. So due to the problems he or she is encountering, many people will want to take the drugs to get temporal relief, not knowing that they are even endangering themselves the more, because the release you get from that problems temporarily cannot solve the problem permanently. So that is for mental disorders, emotional problems.
So what do you think are the solutions that can be used to counsel the drug abuse in society, especially among students?
Okay, I would say first of all, public enlightenment. Yes, public enlightenment. A situation whereby the government or officials, registered officials, host meetings and conferences and enlighten the youth. Yes, to gain knowledge. Another thing is education. I believe when we get exposed to formal education, we get to learn new things, gain ideas, know the advantages and the disadvantages of all these things. And then another thing is self-awareness and avoiding, influence, peer influence, knowing the friends we relate with, because this thing called influence is is domineering. Exactly. You can be influenced and you will not know that you're getting influenced. You know the kind of friends to associate yourself with. And then the last is decision making. One can influence you. One may want to influence you, but if you decide you will not be influenced, you will not be influenced. So decision making, I think, is the dominant factor. You decide personally, you see this thing, I will not do it. You have your do's, you have your don'ts. You have your principles, your rules that guides your life. And I think all these things all still amounts to integrity. When you have integrity, you will know that this thing, is not meant for you. You shouldn't do this. You've outgrown this level.
Okay, Omega, I'm actually here to ask you about what do you think about your intake on drug abuse, and why do young guys of your age go into such things?
It's supposed to ask person where they take drugs now. But inside here, I feel most people taking these drugs are people that just want to feel among. Do you understand? Maybe because of peer pressure or something like that.
So the weeks, there are various weeks, because there's actually a recent news that happened whereas a student fell from 3-story building due to the intake of drugs. So what do you think about that incident? What do you think? What is your advice to the fellow youths?
Okay, firstly, may his soul rest in peace.
Amen.
Yeah, but inside there, this stuff, things happens. You understand? I feel that there was no one there there's no one there to caution him about the effect of drug abuse. You understand? Most people take it, like I said, they take it maybe because of pressure or something. They just want to feel among. Do you understand? Yeah.
So you feel that it's actually due to only peer pressure. There is no actually any other side effect.
Most times, most people take it to feel happy. Do you understand? I don't take drugs, so I wouldn't know. Do you understand? So I just feel. Because there are most people that you just see maybe on television or something like that. Immediately they take drugs, their mood changes. Do you understand? So people who are passing through personal issues, they take drugs to calm it down, something like that. But it's not advisable. Do you get?
So if you have to see a friend who goes into drugs in a party or in a club, will you won't you feel you want to be among my guys are there taking one or two? Okay. Let me just take.
Honestly, to be all honest, forget this camera with the video me now. If you be my guy and you take drugs, nothing concern me and you. Do you understand? The friendship don't stop.
Really?
Because most times if you see person where they take drugs and I take close, you go think say our two they take them now. Do you understand?
Okay.
So yeah, nothing concern me with person.
You don't want the society to paint you black due to the kind of
exactly.